all the buttons. That's good. Welcome to Game 3 of DK versus Orange. This is the lower bracket semifinals. Yes, I do believe so. Whoever loses here, they're out. They will be 5th and 6th place, and they'll get something like $100,000 for their time spent there in Seattle. But it's gonna be a nail biter. Both of these games have been really close. Game 1 was pretty awesome. Game 2 was not so close. But potential outdrafting with Slarter, that's what makes me so excited. But already the draft from Orange is pretty different. They will get their Nature's Prophet. They've done a lot of work with this recently. In their games versus Fnatic, they split pushed them to hell with an Anti-Mage and a Nature's Prophet. But we see the Anti-Mage actually banned out by DK. Anti-Mage is a very common ban versus DK because of how absurd Burning's Anti-Mage is. But DK will go back for something that was very successful for them in Game 1. Burning's Alchemist was twice the net worth of any of the carries on Orange in Game 1. He farmed up a Storm and then showed up in a big way. But this time they will not have the Magnus to set up for some big reverse polarities and skewers freshly delivered to their 6-slotted Alchemist. So we'll see if DK can set up the stuns for Alchemist in this game, because that's really what Alchemist needs. He needs the lockdown in order to actually deal his damage. And Keeper of the Light is not necessarily one of the heroes that can do that. In fact, he separates people apart with the blinding light. But it looks like DK have something else in mind to pair with that Keeper of the Light, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this Alchemist be put in mid and something else picked up for Burning. Also want to note, Lifestealer made it to the 2nd round of bans. Very rare occasion here in TI3 for that to occur. DK do respond to the Game 2 by banning out the Darks here in the first round, however. That won't get through for Orange. Orange are still looking for Mushi's hero. They've got Ohio's Nature's Prophet. They've got good team fight with Magnus and Bane. And pretty nice ability to push combined with Chen. So I think a good, strong mid-game carry. They don't want to go too late. I don't think they can fight with just the 4 of these heroes. They can't go for something that's too greedy. They need something that can group up with the rest of the team. And DK will take a page out of Alliance's book and go for the Keeper of the Light with Phantom Lancer. And I haven't actually ever seen Burning's Phantom Lancer. Undoubtedly an amazing hero for him because of Phantom Lancer's ability to push. And I'll be watching very carefully to see how he builds this. Everyone seems to build Phantom Lancer a little bit differently. Some go for the early defusal. Haven't seen Radiance on Phantom Lancer in honestly quite a while. Used to be a very common pickup, and in this particular game I think could actually be fairly strong. But it secures their lanes in a big way, and so it will be that Alchemist mid. Supported with Nyx Assassin and Keeper of the Light. That's about as deadly of a tri-lane as you can get. And DK can run it however they want. I don't think I've ever seen... I mean, maybe DK's run an aggressive tri-lane once, but they do have the option to do that with these 3 heroes, because this is a really strong tri-lane. Orange are unlikely to try and challenge that since they've got the Chen. So they'll be running a defensive tri-lane, and they'll probably have Ohio in the off lane. I haven't seen a mid Nature's Prophet from Mushi in quite a while. I do think it works well for them, but Orange need to pick up something that can deal with the split push. They need some AoE, because Magnus is not enough. Not in terms of killing Phantom Lancer. You can deal with Phantom Lancer with just pure single target DPS. But with the Keeper of the Light, the ability to push against DK is going to be quite limited, and they can't let the game go too late because there is going to be the Alchemist. And even though as a mid Alchemist he's going to be skipping Grievel's Greed fairly early on, he's just going to be going for the Acid Spray and Concoction. He needs to... Ooh, and Ursa.
DK's turn to pick.
Let's think through this here. They've got the Bane, so that's a really good combo with Ursa. The Fiend's Grip is plenty of time to take down any single target on DK. And the great thing about that is that it's going to force DK to come in and try and stop the Fiend's Grip or stop Mushi's Ursa from dealing his damage, which is a good opportunity for KYXY's Magnus to come in for a reverse polarity. So I think in this lineup it works pretty decently, but they need to end the game earlier rather than later. Nature's Prophet alone I don't think is enough to out-split push what Phantom Lancer and Keeper of the Light can do. He can certainly find trades, but the later this game goes on, the more Ursa will become not a liability, but just less useful versus Phantom Lancer. Particularly once the Heart, the Fusel, Butterfly, all of those items are online, Ursa really can't handle PL's illusions at all. Deals no AoE. Unless we see, I mean, maybe someday there'll be a Battle Fury Ursa and that will be ridiculous. I wonder if that works. I wonder if the Fury Swipes applies in a cleave AoE. Questions I don't have the answer to. DK will round it out with their Enigma, which I think is a pretty great pick. It's another way of dealing with the Fiend's Grip. Really works versus Ursa, but I think he's a little bit of a risk for the reverse polarity. These are pretty even drafts, I think. Probably favoring DK just a little bit. They've got great team fight, good ability to push. The Eidolons really help with that, and there's not a lot of easy AoE from Orange. They're basically dependent on the Shockwave from Magnus, Wrath of Nature from Nature's Prophet. Orange needs to get rolling relatively early on, and any early ganks on KYXY could be a problem for them. They're going to be dependent on that reverse polarity to scare DK back and to take the tier 1s. The tier 1s are going to be the biggest problem for Orange. Ohio's immediately warding up the jungle here, and they're the ones with a Chen. But it will really slow down RTK's early jungling, and this ward does stop this camp. This one's fairly easy to de-ward, and this one is just close enough. As mentioned in previous cast, Ohio is the thing about level 1 teleport. It's 40 seconds, so he has to wait in the jungle. Oh god, this could be first blood. They find Ohio. He's charging the Illuminate. He's trapped inside. He's gonna pay. He's gonna pay for warding the jungle with his life. It's not too costly. It does give up the first blood to ROTK, which that kind of makes up for the slow start that he's going to have a little bit. But 4 camps did get warded here, and there's no way they have enough sentries to cover all this. QQQ, he'll de-ward this, and he'll probably get 1 more camp. So there'll be no pull available down the bottom lane, depending on which ones they de-ward.
The battle begins.
And smart response here by DK. They know that Ohio is in there to de-ward, so they immediately start to plant down the sentries. 2 camps will still be blocked. That's a hard camp and a medium camp, and most importantly, it's the pull camp. So it will slow down the levels for RTK a little bit, and the supports for DK. So over mid, we've got KYXY's Magnus versus Super's Alchemist. It's going to be a pretty even matchup. Potentially favoring Super just a little bit, since he can drop the acid spray down. It's a lot of easy harass onto Magnus, but he's always going to find his farm because he's going to Bottle Crow and he's got the Shockwave. Ohio, since he had to take Teleport level 1, he's going to do some super exciting cliff jungling here, but he'll get his levels, he'll get his farm, and since he's got the Teleport level 1, even if he's go up down at bottom lane and pick up the experience whenever it's available, especially since his pull has been blocked, it'll be pretty difficult for DK to keep the wave back. I do like this by QQQ. He's doing some stacking in the jungle. I think this is an important part of play for Keeper of the Light. Stack up the jungle, illuminate those waves down, and here we go. Ohio already rotated down to bottom. Does have to be careful. He could go down. He only has 500 HP. And illuminate plus impale could be enough to take him down. But he doesn't care. He just wants the experience. Up at top, we've got Mushi on Ursa, supported by Net on Bane. This is an unchallenged lane. RTK can potentially rotate up into the off lane. It was once upon a time. There was a time when Enigma off lane was considered viable, but it's too easy to punish. But even better, actually, QQQ can rotate up top, and he can completely stop this push. There's no easy AoE for Orange, and keeping their lane alive, their lane creeps alive, is not particularly easy. So this will be yet more farm for QQQ. 1v1, if Ohio is left alone, Y does not have any sentries. He's not gonna be able to stop this whole ward. 1v1 still favors burning against Ohio, so Ohio can't spend too much time in this lane. They'll have to go back into the jungle, which there's a lot of competition in the jungle right now with Extinct. He's on Chen. Picks up the most valuable possible creep, the Dark Troll Summoner. There's a potential for him to gank mid, but it's fairly easy for DK to rotate and support. Particularly Nyx Assassin and Enigma, in terms of their ability to rotate to a lane and support in the event of a gank, they're pretty strong. Malefice is really good, and Impale, of course, works pretty nice. Ohio really has to be careful here. So we'll have more or less free farm for each of the safe lane carries. Burning might be challenged a little bit by Ohio, but I mean he's already fallen behind a little bit. Or Mushi has fallen behind a little bit in terms of last hits. A full one last hit behind. Game changing. So I think Orange is off to a good start here. Despite the first blood on Ohio, slows down RTK's jungling, and it's going to allow Orange to group up when they want to, which is probably going to be about 5 minutes. Once they've got the Hand of God online, and level 5, level 7 available on Extinct, gets his multiple creeps going, they can start to work on these towers. The trouble is just going to be the Illuminate from QQQ, and he's actually not level 3 yet. It's important for him to get his levels up to stop this push, because a level 1 Illuminate is not enough to stop Chen creeps with their massive health boon from the Holy Persuasion. So he needs to keep finding his experience for the sake of his team if DK plans on keeping their towers alive. Despite getting warded up, so I like that. Takes the treants with the islands. The demonic conversion. And the stacking here for Ohio. No stacking. Being on the dire side, it's one of the nice things for Orange, having the Ursa. Relatively easy for them to do Roche, and pretty hard for DK to stop it. At least until the black hole is up, but even then, actually QQQ, he's probably going to go down here. He's doing a little ring around the rosy, and good trading of the tower aggro here from from Net will make sure that Mushi doesn't get taken down by the tower, but Extinct picks up the last hit on QQQ. He steps a little too far forward, trying to get that experience. Does get his level 3. That's good news for him. Opts to go for level 2 Chakra Magic early on, which that is fairly common. So now he needs his 4. And Ohio, he's actually getting chased out by RTK, but he's going to be okay. Also, I like this from Ohio. He's managed to pull the treant, pull the lane creeps all the way around with the treant. I mean, he did this from a long ways away. So securing more of experience while running away, it's a sign of a great Nature's Prophet player. It all comes down to the treants. Mushi's working on his Vlads. He's not too far off, 800 gold. I think an early Vlads will also be critical for Orange with the group up that they want to do, and will definitely help in taking Roche. Orange will be able to take down Roche probably in about 5 minutes here, maybe even less than that. They've got the treants to tank, and as soon as the Vlads are online, it's super easy for Mushi to do. Ursa can Roche faster than anybody else in the game, especially if he has someone tanking for him so he doesn't have to eat the bashes. In terms of the vision here, not a lot of vision either way. Wards all have just expired, the first set of wards for the game. And it's going to be important, if DK want to challenge Roche, which they may not try, it's going to be important for them to keep the wards up. around the Roche pit, particularly sentries to detect any smoke-ins. Orange may not even need such subtlety in going for the Roche.
Radiant's top tower is
Wow,
under
you can
attack.
see how annoying this Illuminated is and slowing down this push. Over in mid, Super's at 25-1 versus KYXY's 34 and 36 and 13. KYXY is winning a lane pretty handily, which I would have expected Super to come out on top, but good shockwave harass can really punish Alchemist, especially before level 6.
Middle tower is under attack.
Until then, he just doesn't have that much sustain. He's very reliant on the Bottle Crow if he's getting harassed a lot. Burning's gone for Treads first. Since he's not taking much harass, he doesn't have to go for the Tranquils early on. Looks to be headed towards an Aquila.
Radiant's
Interesting
bottom
comparison
tower
there.
is under attack.
Loda on Alliance, he pretty much always goes for Tranquils, regardless of how the lane is going for him, simply because of how fragile Fan Lancer can be. You can't really jungle. Thinking about a nightmare from that.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Super's shown up. He's charging up his concoction. This is a max level concoction, so if it lands, oh, Mushi, he's gonna die here. He manages to pick up a kill for his trouble, but that ends up being a kill for Burning. Immediate buyback for Mushi. Does he have his Vlads? Not quite. But he is just gonna go straight towards mid. Because of the multiple TPs up top by DK, I think Orange realized that it's gonna be impossible for DK to respond. So despite giving up a death here, if he's able to pick up Roche unchallenged, I think that death is totally worth it. And it's going to go down pretty fast. He's got max level and power. Lots of attack speed. Ohio drops down the Sprout, trying to hold him off for the time being, and they've also got the... Wow, that Roche went fast. So Mushi's aggression pays off. Baits DK into teleporting up top. Perhaps an over-response from DK. They didn't really need more than one there. And Burning especially, despite picking up the last hit, he's probably giving up more farm in terms of the last hits that he's missing down at bottom than what he gained from the kill. I think Burning probably would have been okay staying down at bottom. It's a good start for Orange, and Extinct, he's got his level 7 now.
Dire's bottom tower
Full
is under
set of
attack.
creeps available. The next thing that Orange really needs in order to be as active as they want is the mechanism. Once they have that online, the Illuminate is not such a problem. It's still a problem, but it's not quite the problem it once was. Vlad's is up for Mushi, and he's got his phase. It's critical for Orange to have this start. MMY, oh, he pops Vendetta on Ohio. Is there going to be a follow-up here? RTK, he gets the Malefice. Hand of God is popped to try and save him. Oh, but a black hole is used by RTK. He really wants this kill, and he will get it. Oh, there's a Fiend's Grip onto RTK. That alone is probably enough to finish him off, and so it is. So, a kill for a kill. Trading at this point, I don't think is ideal for DK. Especially a Black Hole for a Fiend's Grip. Fiend's Grip is 90-second cooldown. Black Hole is 200 seconds. 180 seconds? 200. That's not a great trade for them. And taking out Nature's Prophet, who can just immediately TP back to the lane, you're not keeping him down that much. I mean, he doesn't have a Midas, so in some sense you are exponentially slowing down his farm. But no Black Hole means Orange is not really afraid of anything that DK can do right now. The Illuminate is honestly the only big problem for Orange taking more towers. So on the back of that trade, Orange takes the bottom tier 1, and they've got control of DK's jungle right now. They plant some sentries down, making sure that there's no vision here. However, oh, they're going to see MMY here. The Nightmare onto MMY. Concoction charging up from Super. Do they have vision? Can he get in range in time? He tosses out the Concoction. Not quite inside the Acid Spray, so there is no minus armor to help amplify that damage, and they will not follow up. If Orange can camp up in DK's jungle, and especially if they can take the mid tier 1, things get really good. Wow, Mushi, he's on to ROTK right now. Several stacks of Fury Swipes, but he gets stunned up. He's still got this Aegis right now, so even if he goes down, it's okay. Net, he shows up, throws out the Brain Sap. There's a Nightmare on MMY. Immediately traded by DK. Or perhaps just cancelled by spell damage. Did not see. Nevertheless, mid-tier 1 drops. They're looking good here for Orange in this early game. They've gotten a 2-tower lead. They forced a lot of response from DK, several TPs back and forth. And DK are just not finding the kills. A smoke up here by Orange. There's no sentries available for DK here. This could be big. There's a Fiend's Grip now up on net. If they find, really whoever they find will die. Mushi leads the way. He's still got 2 minutes left on this Aegis. He wants to make use of it. Oh, MMY. He's still got Vendetta right now. He's going to find MMY. Pops a Spike Carapace. Spirit Lance thrown by Burning. Concoction flies out onto net. Tries to self-Nightmare, but doesn't quite pull it off. MMY, he's now out of mana. Spirit Lance flies. Oh, nice Hand of God from Extinct. Will keep net alive. DK are all forced to respond to mid, and Ohio up at top. He's working on the top tier 1. Orange is playing the way they love to play, aggressively and taking towers with that Nature's Prophet. They've had a lot of success with this so far. So far, the Ursa pick is paying off. With that early Roche getting a nice big healthy lead, and the physical damage that's just so dangerous to these supports on DK. The Spike Carapace is an okay tool for MMY, but early on, I mean, he has to get max level Impale, so it's only 1 level of Spike Carapace, and it's pretty easy to just eat the stun and not worry about it. KYXY has picked up his Blink Dagger 13 minutes in. That's pretty good timing. And things get even more dangerous for TK on this map. 13 minutes in, it's about a 7,500 gold lead for Orange, about 3,000 experience. DK are, they're on the back foot, but if they can hold on for a long time, then they have a pretty good chance in this game. But really, they need Burning to get Beastly. He's probably going to have to go for a Diffusal, but I don't know what Burning's build is on Phantom Lancer since I haven't seen him play it before. If he goes for Radiance, that will be a problem for Orange's supports, particularly Bane, Chen. They can really suffer under Radiance, and it does help with burning down some of the Chen creeps. But he may need to go for something tankier, something that offers more health for his illusions, just so he can stay alive and help push out the lanes. Orange group up down at bottom. There's about, 6 seconds left on the Aegis, so it's about to expire. But at this point, with the lead that Orange has, they aren't totally reliant on the Aegis. Is Mechanism online yet? It's very close for Extinct. 800 more gold, and he's got that online. Super also appears to be building a Mechanism. He's got a Headdress in his inventory. QQQ. That Ring of Regen could either be a Force Staff or Tranquil Boots. Either one. I think the Force Staff may be very important here. Concoction charges up on Super, but it's not going to do anything. Oh, huge RP by KOXY. Skewers 2 back into the overpower from Mushi. Mushi's going to mop them up, no problem. And there's a Fiend's Grip onto Super. Wow. Or sorry, RO2K. Great fight for Orange. Perfect RP by KOXY. Catching DK off guard. That's a bottom tier 2 for Orange. And do they have to stop the push? They have used all their cooldowns. There's no Fiend's Grip or RP available. But they're still a huge threat. They've still got all these Chen creeps. The Illuminate is the biggest thing. Oh, but there's a huge skewer back onto Burning. Burning's going to get chewed up. Amazing play by KOXY. Catching Burning with the skewer. Doesn't need RP. Net eats the concoction, but there's a send back from Extinct. Does not proc in time. So Orange will be chased back, but they're happy. They're happy with that engagement. They pick up a kill on Burning. They get some damage onto the bottom tier 3, which drops to half health. Wow, KOXY. 2 big plays, right? One after another. DK really need this black hole. They need this so badly. But even if he gets this BKB, there are still an RP and a Fiend's Grip to stop him. So his positioning is going to have to be immaculate, and really he's going to need a Blink Dagger. I think that's the only way that he can actually land the black hole that his team needs. So that means he's got about 3,000 gold before he actually becomes a force for his team. Because really, up until that point, I think Orange they're just going to be watching straight for him. And they won't have any problem taking him out. They've got plenty of DPS at this point in the game. On the back of those tower kills, it's almost 10,000 gold, 5,000 experience in favor of Orange. Net, he's having a pretty good time as a support. He's got his Arcanes and his Urn up. Looks to be a BKB on the way for Mushi. Also, he's got his Blink Dagger, so he can really follow up with the initiation. Extinct probably has a mechanism on the way, and so he does. KYXY working. Oh no, burning. Oh, there's an RP onto MMY alone. Maybe not the biggest RP, but they will take him out. They use the Fiend's Grip to boot. But Orange, perhaps knowing that even if they just take out one, it doesn't matter that they've wasted their cooldowns. They can probably still take another tier 2. RTK does have black hole off cooldown. This concoction flying out here, charging up. Mushi eats it. It's dropping pretty low. Gotta be careful here. There's a nice defensive nightmare and a send back from Extinct. Mushi will be safe. Net's on the run, but I don't think DK are gonna be able to catch up here. Great play from Extinct, saving his carry, and Mushi just immediately teleports back to the lane, and now Roche is back up, forcing yet more responses from DK, while Ohio gets more farming done. Can Ohio pick off RTK alone? I don't think he can, but with KYXY he certainly can. Oh, it's an easy kill on RTK. The skewer from KYXY actually already starts walking away before he's dead, knowing that Ohio can right-click him down. Things are looking dark here for DK. They really need ROTK to stay alive. But the problem is the whole map is a dangerous place for DK. With all these Blink Daggers and a Shadow Blade, everywhere is scary. Where can they be? They will be safe. Oh, burning. He's gonna get gone on. And that's it. Wow. One dust and a couple right clicks from Mushi, and Burning just does not have the HP to stand up to this. The Ursa pick is paying off. I have to say, Mushi plays a pretty good Ursa. This is the third time I think we've seen this from Orange in TI3. And he always seems to be overcoming the weaknesses of Ursa and finding the DPS. There's two up top here for DK, but I don't even know if they can get this tower. There's always a teleport available from Ohio. He just picked something up, and that's a Roche, by the way, for Orange. Mushi now has an Aegis for the second time this game, and there's nothing that DK could have done to challenge that. Absolutely nothing. Complete map control for Orange right now. And nice aggressive wards here. You can see they've got one here, unlikely to be sentryed. And they even put one up on the hill, despite having one right here. Although that one's about to expire. Smoke up here. Oh, QQQ and RTK. This could be a big fight. Oh, instantly popped by Mushi. The Malefice will slow down Mushi, but there's a Fiend's Grip onto Burning right now. A Black Hole onto only Net right now. The Hand of God will keep Net alive. Can they even find this kill? They do just barely manage to do it, but Mushi, he goes back in. A couple right clicks on RTK. One more, and oh, a huge RP from KYXY onto 3. Skewers back Burning and MMY. Super, he's back in the fight. MMY and Burning go down. There's 3 buybacks immediately from Orange. There's a chase from Mushi. He tries to follow up here, but Orange, they're looking so good here in Game 3. This could be it for DK in TI3. That RP from KOXY, every RP from KOXY has been amazing, and this is a much better Magnus. LGD, the way the comparison I draw here to LGD is because LGD picked Magnus something like 6 times, 8 times in TI3. And they ended up dropping in 12th to 10th to 12th place, somewhere in those whereabouts. But they played it so passive. They used Magnus as this hero that just sits in the base and is a great anti-siege hero that forces the other team to be super careful and patient. But this aggressive Magnus that's taking advantage of opportunities that you create through aggression seems like a much stronger Magnus, and they're making huge opportunities with it. I mean, these RPs from KOXY have been fantastic. Net does end up going down there, but it's totally worth it for Orange in these fights. And the Aegis is still up on Mushi, so they can go in and do this again. BKB now online for Mushi. He gets even scarier. 10 seconds of not being able to stun him. Oh, Mushi a little bit off the mark. But this ward here is really great because there's no way that DK can step out of the jungle or step out of their lanes. Anytime they want to step even over to this is, you know, the closest neutral camp for them. They can't do it because Orange has their number, watching every move. So at this point, 12,000 gold, actually almost 14,000 experience in favor of Orange. Orange has to keep this up. If they let the game go too long, then they could have a problem. There's a BKB up on RTK, but as mentioned, if he doesn't catch both KYXY and Net, he's not going to get the black hole off. And it's also on cooldown for 45 seconds still. He was level 10 when he cast that last black hole. Fortify, still up for DK. They can try to slow this push down, but this tower is very likely to fall. Great set of creeps here for Extinct. Concoction charging up on Super. Mushi could... Oh, nice defensive nightmare from Net. And the Mechanism trying to keep Mushi alive. They want to save the Aegis. They don't want to delay the aggression. And they also know that Ohio is up at top, very nearly taking a tier 2 on his own. And with all the tier 1s still up for Orange, a send back from Extinct is not actually too much wasted time because he can just get right back out the lane. Actually looks like Mushi maybe mis-teleported there. Top tier 2 gets denied, but that's still... That's A-okay for Orange. That's more map control. This tier 3 bottom is not long for life. I mean, Extinct could probably suicide his creeps on this. Wouldn't really want to, because he has these 2 Dark Troll summoners. That's ideal. Mushi has returned to the fight after his refreshing break. Super sitting on 2,000 gold. Nothing since that Mechanism. His damage in these fights is not going to be too helpful. Burning has nothing but a Blade of Alacrity. He is going for... Could be a Yasha, could be the Diffusal. I think the Diffusal is the only choice he has to get his damage up. Oh, Mushi blinks in, straight onto Burning. Burning is forced to doppel walk out. Concoction is charging up from Super. Huge RP from KOXY onto Super and MMY. Super ends up self-stunning. He skewers them back into the rest of his teammates. Illuminate plays out from QQQ. But Mushi's just going man mode on the other side of this barracks. And it's a 2-for-1 right now. DK managed to take the Aegis off, but Mushi immediately blinks away. Ohio eats the stun, but he's going to be okay. This is going to be bottom racks. 25 minutes in, it's Orange potentially striking first blood. The Fortify has already been used. Teleport in from Super. He wants to get the Concoction off. He lands it onto Mushi. He has no more Aegis. This is it for DK. They have to win this fight. Super, he's dropping low. Ohio's clicking him down. He does drop. Immediate buyback from Super. Orange need to focus on the racks here, but they're all low. They don't want to give up anything more. They see the buyback from Super. There's a Vendetta pop by MMY, but he gets netted up by Extinct's creeps, so he's going to make it out okay. Oh, they were looking for the skewer return. That also works, by the way, the same way as Chen Pudge. If the Test of Faith is used onto Magnus and he skewers someone, they are attached to Magnus for the duration of the skewer. So if you manage to pull it off, then you can bring someone back to the fountain. I mean, the Chen Pudge combo is hard to pull off. The Magnus Chen combo is even harder because the margin for error is that much lower. You have to land the skewer, and it has to be in a much tighter duration. Maybe we're on the same level. I don't know. They're hard either way. KWXY has his BKB now. The next push from Orange is going to be deadly, and the bottom tier 3s, they were so close to dropping. I think even if Orange had suicided there, and drop that Rax, it would still be worth it. That was more buybacks from Orange. Super is just, I mean, he's never going to pick up an item in this game, it feels like. He does have 3 points of Greevil's Greed now, so his ability to catch up, it's getting there. But Orange can't let off the aggression now. They may opt to wait for the next Roche. That will be cheese, be even more powerful. But I think whatever Orange chooses to do, so long as they're not feeding themselves up in a 4-man black hole, I think they can take whatever fight they want. Staff of Wizardry up on Super. I can only assume that this is a 4-staff. 4-staff is a pretty good counter versus Ursa. You just 4-staff your teammate away, and suddenly Ursa's Blink isn't so helpful. The Overpower doesn't help him stay on top of anyone. So lots of 4-staffs on DK could really help in slowing down Mushi's damage, but that means that they're spending golds to respond to this one hero, and they're not getting extra damage. They're not getting more initiation or any more map control. It's more just kind of like getting a BKB when you're behind. It's more survivability, and that's gonna have his own BKB at some point in the future. Here, he's got an Ogre Club. Ohio has finished his Scythe of Vice. Really starts to be a problem for DK in these fights. Looks to be a 4-staff coming up on Extinct as well. It is a Diffusal for Burning. Correctly recognizes that this is the most bang for his buck that he can possibly get, and the mana burn will be quite strong against several of these heroes on Orange. That said, KOXY's got his BKB, as does Mushi, so they, with good timing, should have an okay time in dealing with it. And his illusions are also not very tanky yet, so fairly easy to destroy them. Fortify and back off cooldown in about 45 seconds here. If Orange can push in, oh, there's a blink in from KYXY, pulls Burning back. It's going to be an easy kill. Mushi pops his BKB, he's going on to Super. A handful more right clicks and he could go down. Manages to get the Earth Shock on Super. RTK, he's got his black hole. When will he use it? That is the question. Well, they take out Burning, and he doesn't have a buyback right now. So Orange basically has a window of 30 seconds where they can fight without having to deal with the mana burn. Nice high ground ward here from Orange. Orange will back off once more. I guess feeling a little too vulnerable. Ohio was a little bit low on health there. They could go for this tier 2. I feel like there's other opportunities on the map they could be taking. Oh, but there's a Roche. That's back up now. That's going to be cheese. DK will try and smoke up and stop this. Can they get there in time? That's the question. Oh, it's dropping too fast. I don't think they're going to get there, and they could just be setting themselves up for a nice team fight for Orange. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. They get there just too late, and MMI is going to feed himself in here. The concoction charges out, lands onto Mushi. Hand of God is popped by Extinct. DK are now on the run. KYXY, he skewers RTK back. They got to be careful. He's got this. Oh, wow, Mushi. He's just going to take out MMY and QQQ, no problem. No black hole here for RTK. They wisely chose not to focus the Enigma, but he will go down now. The BKB has ended. It's a 4-for-0 in favor of Orange. DK showing up seconds too late there, but you know, even if they had, you have to wonder how that really would have gone. I mean, Mushi can solo the Roche. They don't need to all be in the Roche pit, and they're up against a Magnus. And even if he didn't have reverse polarity, the skewer is such a problem for these supports. The bottom racks, the Fortify is available, but I don't think they're long for life. And QQQ is just going to get soloed by Ohio. 3-shotted, in fact. No trouble for him to go down. Ohio has to run away from the illusions. But the bottom racks, they will fall. Orange, they have taken the first set of racks here in Game 3. They're feeling pretty good about their situation. They've still got an Aegis. They've still got a cheese. The cheese is on KYXY, by the way. Burning, he's just not had the start that he needed. He's not been given to him by Orange. And as a result of these, I mean, they're now 20,000 gold ahead, 25,000 experience. Orange, they've got a stranglehold on game 3. And they would have to feed a 5-man black hole, followed into a concoction, for things to turn around. They're trying for the skewer, the fountain skewer. Somewhat unnecessarily, I feel. They do take the mid-tier too. But DK. There's 1,300 gold on RTK, so he's 800 away from potentially getting a blink, which could be what DK needs. All things are possible. DK are certainly not going to give up early. Not when it's the last game of the International 3 for them. Potentially. Can't call it yet. GG is not going to Oh, there's a blink in for Mushi. He goes straight onto MMY, but he's late on popping the BKB. He's going to get focused down here. The Hand of God gets popped, but he will go down. The Aegis is used. KYXY has not yet used his reverse polarity, but he pops his BKB, so kind of an awkward initiation there from Orange. Ends up feeding the Aegis for no gain there. No kills. Nothing yet acquired, and I kind of feel like Ohio could be pushing in another lane, making something else happen. They don't all have to be grouped in together for this. They could probably win this fight mostly 4v5 at this point, given the absurd farm advantage that Orange has. Right, there is a 4-staff on Extinct. Mushi, he's got his own 4-staff, in fact. I didn't see that. Well, they'll just work on the towers from the low ground. Orange are not gonna get overly aggressive here. They know they're on the cusp of winning, which I believe this takes them to the lower bracket finals, which is kind of like the semifinals. Guarantees them a top 4 finish, where they will then face off against the winner between Alliance and Navi. Oh, there's a stun up on Ohio. Mushi blinks in. He doesn't have an Aegis this time. He's laid up with the BKB, but there's a nice reverse polarity. Huge black hole from RTK. He catches KYXY and Mushi, but the cheese is up on Mushi. There's a swap in the middle of that fight. RTK gets Fiend's Gripped. 4-staff by Mushi, taking him away from the danger for the moment, but he will go down. Mushi has dropped. Ohio, he's in the middle of things. He's got his own BKB, but it's not going to be enough. Buybacks from Orange, as well as DK. Orange, it looks like they might not succeed in this push. A sloppy initiation. RTK's black hole, it pays off. They catch Mushi and they catch, I believe it was KYXY. It's a 4-for-1. DK defends their top racks. The game's not over. DK shows signs of life. How many different ways can I say it? And you know, Burning has a level 2 defusal here. He goes for the only way that he can get efficient damage, and I think it pays off there. His damage was pretty crucial in that fight. The black hole from RTK was certainly important, but a very sloppy initiation from Orange. Mushi blinks in, but doesn't pop his BKB, so he gets chain stunned up. Drops down to basically 1/3 HP as a result, and is forced to get 4-staffed all around the fight to try and keep him alive, and it just doesn't work. So a sloppy initiation there from Orange. MY's popping Vendetta. He's looking for a kill here in the jungle. I don't think he can find anybody. Really got to be careful if he gets caught. One kill here could be it for. Oh no, is he gonna get stunned? Oh my, that was close. The test of faith was almost enough to finish him off. Yeah, not sure what MY was doing there. More 4-staffs? Okay, how many 4-staffs does... There are 3 4-staffs on Orange right now. Rather than finish a BKB, Net opts to pick up a 4-staff. It's an interesting choice. It seems a little excessive to me. I'm not sure what the goal is. Maybe they can keep Mushi on top of his targets. They can potentially aggressively 4-staff, push someone from DK out. Double damage. Who needs skewer when you've got 3 4-staffs? right? Despite defending their top racks, I do think, I mean, DK, they're still very much on the back foot here, and their ability to come back, and they've got a long ways to go. Burning alone, I don't think is going to be enough to do this. They're going to need decent farm on Super. And his first 2 item pickups are not making use of Chemical Rage on Alchemist. I mean, they need the mechanism, so there's no real question about that. I mean, none of the supports on DK would have been able to pick it up, and I think the only reason that DK can sustain in any of these fights, or have a hope of it, is with the mechanism. So it looks like Orange are going to wait for the next Roche, which I can understand. It seems like a risky maneuver to me. They're giving more time for Burning to farm. And if he manages to get a heart up, that's when things start to get scary up against a Phantom Lancer. It gets a lot harder for him to push, and the weaknesses of Orange's lineup start to show
Dire's middle tower
their face. I mean, lack of AoE. I mean, they have an Ursa after all. His ability to deal with these illusions is very poor, to put it mildly. Not to mention he's somewhat mana dependent, has to be able to blink in and out. Needs Overpower. Overpower is a massive amount of attack speed. And getting those Fury Swipes up is critical to his DPS. So not having any mana is not really an option for Mushi. Smoke up here by Orange. Not a lot of vision here for DK. They've got the 1 ward up here in the river. But Orange haven't managed to place any aggressive wards recently. RDK, he could get caught here. He gets sheeped up. Oh, this could be big. Immediate Force Staff from his team, pushing him out. BKB is popped by RTK, but Super gets trapped inside the Sprout. But actually, Extinct goes down. This is going poorly for Orange. Mushi, he drops. The Illuminate from QQQ, and there's a Black Hole on the KOXY. It's 3 for none in favor of DK. Ohio, he's up at top. He realizes the fight is not going well. He forces out the Fortify. He can potentially get this tier 3. Will probably back off. And does so. So a terrible fight for Orange. These Force Staffs are such a problem. They sheep up RTK, but he gets Force Staffed away. Keeps Mushi from staying on top of him. And what looked like a good Sprout inside of the... Keeping Super in with Mushi, it just ended up making it easy for Burning to work Mushi down. Now, the next Roche will still probably go to Orange, and with Aegis and Cheese, Orange have a pretty good chance of taking the next set of racks, but their window is closing. In fact, this is going to be the first tower of the game here for DK. They must be so grateful. They may even get 2 towers for it. This will be the first Roche that potentially DK can find some trades for Roche, if not challenging Roche. And yeah, the Black Hole from RTK, it was just on the KYXY, but that's fine. Particularly since, I mean, Burning was already down, and the Illuminate from Extinct. I didn't see what dropped Extinct so low in the first place. Perhaps it was just Burning. DK, they should know that Roche is here, but they don't have a Black Hole for this fight, and I don't know if they can do it without it. Orange, they're positioned up on the high ground. There's still a Verse Polarity available. Net, he's taking a lot of damage from these illusions. Net, he could get taken out of the fight immediately. The Hand of God used to keep him up for just a little bit longer. Mushi has popped his BKB in the middle of the fight, but a Reverse Polarity used into absolutely nothing but illusions. KYXY, he's just not finding the Reverse Polarities in the fight. However, Burning, he's on the run, eating the Fury Swipes. There's a buyback from MMY. He wants to get back in this fight. KYXY, forced to skewer away. These illusions from Burning, they're getting more dangerous. Orange, they're not actually able to finish the Roche. They're chased out of the pit by DK. Can DK take the Roche while they're gone? It's a scary fight for them. But Black Hole, another 40 seconds. We'll see what Orange chooses to do. That Reverse Polarity. Perhaps KYXY thinking he was going to go down. Wrath of Nature gets thrown out. KYXY, he skewers 2 out of the pit. Mushi, he shows up from the side. He's gone on to Super. Or KYXY, he eats the unstable concoction. Mushi needs to choose targets here. He's surrounded by DK. He's trapped inside the Sprout with MMY and Super, and he will go down. Burning picks up that kill. RTK, he's going to try and taste in Ohio. Can he teleport away? He's popped the BKB. He should be okay, but look at how much damage he takes as a result. DK, it looks like they're going to get the Roche here. Mushi has bought back. He wants back into this fight. There has been no Fiend's Grip from Net in these fights. He may just go down to Burning here. DK, they're pulling it out of the hat. They're pulling this game back. Orange.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Orange. They had victory in their grasp. And the Roche starts to fall. Can Orange challenge it? The huge reverse polarity from KYXY. It's 4. It's a skewer onto 4. Earthshock onto 4. Mushi will clean them all up. It's 4 for 1. 5 for 1 as RTK gets finished off. And QQQ as well. Good God. KYXY shows up with the reverse polarity at the perfect time. DK, their positioning at the end just does not cut it. The reverse polarity comes off cooldown at the exact right time. Orange. They take the Roche. They have an Aegis on Mushi for the 4th time this game. And then they've got a cheese on KYXY. What a game. You can see, oh my God. The golden XP graphs, honestly, at this point, don't mean too much. I mean, Orange does still have a lead. They still got a tower. That is going to be a top tier 3 going down. Actually, the backdoor protection will save that tower. Thought he had the creeps. No chance. So they're still 1 Rex down. They've taken a lot of damage onto their tier 3s. However, if DK win 1 fight, and they manage to clear the outer towers from Orange and pick up all that gold that's waiting for them on this map, then it will become DK's game. Oh, Net. Passing each other. The Impale onto Mushi. He's got this Aegis. Can there be a counter initiation here? The mechanism gets popped. Mushi's Aegis will go down. There's a black hole onto 2, but immediate Fiend's Grip from Net. Ohio, he's getting ripped apart, but a huge reverse polarity from KYXY into Mushi with the Earthshock. The Fury swipes. KYXY carries this game with amazing reverse polarities. Super, he's soon to fall. The buybacks have been used by DK. Their chance in this game has been eliminated by KYXY's amazing reverse polarities. It's a complete team wipe. They catch absolutely no one on Orange. What looked like a potentially okay black hole, he didn't catch Net, and Net just Fiend's Gripped him, and that was it. Orange, they're just going to go straight for the throne. They say, fuck it. We're not waiting around for Rax, and they have no need to. DK calls the GG. They are out of the International 3. Orange takes it in an amazing game, 17-38, 44 minutes in. DK almost pulls out the comeback, but KYXY's reverse polarities throughout this game were amazing. Huge. I haven't seen reverse polarities on 4 people, 5 people for the entire tournament, but for the first time, we get to see Magnus in his full potential carrying this game for Orange. And I mean, Mushi did a great job. I can't, it's a team game. They're 5 players. But really, I mean, that's some of the best Magnus play I think that this tournament has seen, and guaranteed this game for Orange over and over again. The lineup from Orange, I think this was a weaker draft from Orange. They had much more potential to fail. They didn't have a way to deal with an out-of-control Phantom Lancer, and Burning was getting there. He had 324 last hits. He was getting there. But they managed to pull it off, and I think some questionable, maybe not the strongest draft from DK. I think it's stronger than what Orange has, but the Alchemist just never came to light in this game. No damage, very little survivability, and very reliant on the black holes from Enigma, which, I mean, when you require both a BKB and a Blink Dagger for your Enigma to get a decent black hole, which, I mean, we didn't really see a big black hole in this game, but that's part of because it took so long for him to get those items, then I don't know that Enigma pick is really what you want. In any case, Orange moves on to the losers bracket finals, and they're gonna guarantee a top 4 finish. Crazy, and DK's knocked out of the tournament. They tie for 5th and 6th. Amazing. Up next is IG versus Tongfu.